There are. This meeting is being recorded, just so everybody knows. Jan went to get something. What have you got, Jan?
I'm here, but now I'm getting this meeting is being recorded.
Yes, just say continue. You have to give permission. She records it in speaker view, so it doesn't show all your shining faces usually, unless we goof up. But that's so you can go back if you need to look at something and you can't remember how it all went.
Well, my options are got it or leave meeting.
How about got it?
Perfect.
Awesome. There you go. There you go. Okay, so today's class is all about the Encore Wizard. And this is the project that is stitched out. It's a tea towel. And so this is one element that we are going to take and make 2 circles and connect it. So it turns out kind of cool. And this is in our samples or in our super designs. I forget where it is. We'll find it when I go through my stuff. I haven't done this one in a while. And then we're also going to look at a variety of other ways. So that is Encore in a circle. We'll look at Encore with lines, Encore with around the hoop, and shapes. So there's a variety of different ways. And at first I was like, when would you ever Encore around the hoop? And I have used that now. So all of the different Encores, sometimes you're trying to get something laid out just right and you're fiddling and fooling and pushing and pulling and you go, oh, Encore in the software would do that for me. So we are going to open Premiere so everybody can go ahead and do that. If you would like to reset all modules, you may. Again, those of you who do applique, sometimes that's a little bit of a, you don't really want to do that. Because you set things just the way you want. But if something looks different and you've been in there and changed settings different from mine, you'll know why if you haven't reset all modules. I'm not sure that I have, to be perfectly honest. So I will do that just so.
Libby?
Yes, ma'am.
My icons are coming at the bottom of my screen.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so if they're not coming up at the bottom, which that happens sometimes, I don't know what you do to your computers, Donna. Do you punch them or what have you done? Go over to your Windows Start in the bottom left-hand corner and scroll to Premiere Plus 2 and then launch your embroidery module. Melanie, are you good? You've launched Premiere? Okay, excellent. And what Donna is talking about, just for Melanie's new with us today, I believe, and new to the software, you can pin the icon for the Premiere Plus embroidery and the configure to the taskbar, which I do, because I really prefer to be able to get at those no matter where I am in the software. All right, so let me scoot you guys over here so I can still see. And let's do that. And I'm going to do a share screen, which will block yours for a moment, just so everybody knows. Okay, so know why I'm with Katie. I don't know why Zoom always thinks it knows better than we do. It's like, come on, just let me do what I want to do here. Gallery, there we go. Drag it open. All right. So as you can see on my screen, it's a little bit messy, but I do have Premiere and Configure pinned to the taskbar. And for some reason, Donna's is not pinned anymore. So if it's not pinned, you come over here to Start, and then you'll roll down through here until you get to Premiere Plus 2 embroidery system, and then click the drop down arrow next to it. And Premiere Plus 2 embroidery is there, as is Premiere Plus 2 configure. If you right click on those and they're not attached to the taskbar, you can pin them there. Mine won't give me that option because they're already there, I don't think. I can pin it to Start, which is not what I'm after. Here it is, unpinned from taskbar. If it wasn't pinned, it would give me the option under More to pin it, okay? All right, so I'm gonna launch Premiere Plus 2 and bring that up. it takes a moment. You can see my little hourglass down there. If you get super excited and you click it a bunch of times, you'll open a bunch of windows of Premiere. So be patient. If you see your hourglass, you're on your way. Okay, so I am on the bottom of page 1 of your handout, and I'm going to change the hoop. There are 2 ways to change the hoop. I can either go here, which is in the ribbon bar, or I can use the quick access change hoop, which is up at the top. Change hoop is on our home tab. Here's the home tab. But this quick access bar is there in every module. And being new to software, you may think, what difference does that make? But if we get into a different module or a different wizard, we still have access to the change hoop without going home if we use the one up in the quick access bar. So I'm going to use that one today. And when I click on it, it brings up my hoop selection window. And as most of you know, we have hoop group and hoop size. So the hoop group, when I click the drop down arrow on that, I have the very first option is my hoops, then universal, which is what we always use in class so that we're all on the same page and all in the same hoop. However, at home when you're designing, you can choose your sewing machine, whatever it might be, your embroidery machine. We've got the FOF Pro, the Icon, the Sensation Pros. We've got Singers, we've got Baby Locks, the Alliance, the Solaris, the Altair, and then we have the whole line of Berninas. So if I choose my branded sewing machine, then I can actually pick the hoop that I'm going to use to design in. I am going to use universal today and would ask you to do the same, because then you can change it to a hoop for your machine afterwards. For hoop size, when I click the drop down arrow there, I get a variety of sizes that I can use. And we are using the square 150 by 150 hoop today. So I'm going to put a check mark there. And we want it in the natural orientation. And you may think, why does it matter? Because it's a square hoop. But some of the hoops have, and I don't know if you saw that preview jump just a little bit. When I click rotated, it moves. And I go back to natural, that preview screen moves. That's because the work area can be down a little bit or up a little bit in a square hoop where the machine can sew. So we want to use what we want to use rather than just going, oh, whatever. Now, right here is included in My Hoops. Remember there was a My Hoops up at the top of the hoop group drop down. You can go through and choose your branded machine and then the hoop sizes that you own. And if you put a check mark when you do that and include it in My Hoops and say, okay, it will add it to your My Hoops list. So it's a nice way not to have to scroll through all of those hoops all the time and go find everything. So the My Hoops group right up here, oops, sorry, scrolled the wrong. All right, mouse, behave. Got a feisty mouse this morning. The My Hoops is right up here. And again, if I have taken the time to put that check mark there for the hoops that I own, those are the ones that'll show up when I use the hoop group My Hoops, which is kind of a handy function. But for today, universal 150 by 150 and natural rotation, and I'm going to say okay. So there is our 150 by 150 hoop with our workspace in the middle, and I'm going to let everybody go ahead. All right, Zoom, give me my share screen back so I can give them back. Here we go. Stop share. Go ahead and get the 150 by 150 hoop, the universal, up on your screen. Doing the 150 by 150 in the natural rotation or orientation. Donna, you're logged in on just one computer. I'm assuming that's okay. All right, everybody good? Got a thumbs up? We got her. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. and talk about some of the different pieces and parts of Encore. So Encore is actually a tab rather than, I think I said wizard earlier. It's not a wizard. It is one of the tabs across the top here. So the Encore tab, right now I'm on home, and the ribbon bar that is here is associated with the home tab. When I click Encore, my ribbon bar changes. However, my quick access icons are still up here. So that's what I mentioned earlier. If you get to working in one of the other tabs and you go, oh, shucks, I forgot to change my hoop, you can change it right up here without going back to the home tab. Okay, so for Encore, over in this area is our layout. And so we have a number of things, options here. We have the circle layout, and we see a preview right here of what a circle layout looks like. We have shapes, and you can see it just flipped to a rectangular shape. There are other shapes available, which we can choose over here. We have line, and it shows you that is what the line Encore is going to look like, and we have different line options. Or we have hoop, which means it'll go around the hoop. Looks a lot like rectangular, but there are different hoop options there. We're going to do circle first. These other two icons are our orientation of our embroideries. So this is standard, meaning they're all going to point the same direction. So if you look at this little preview here, there's a little leaf that goes off to the right. It goes off to the right on every flower. If I choose mirror, you'll see, if you'll look really close, that they're mirrored. So a leaf goes right, a leaf goes left, a leaf goes right, a leaf goes left. So that's what that layout means. And sometimes you do, you want things to be kind of facing each other as they go around the Encore. And sometimes you want them to all go the same direction. We are going to use the circle and the standard orientation, which are the defaults. That's what came up before I started messing with stuff. And now we are going to insert an embroidery element that we're going to play with. So to do that, our insert quick access is right up here. It's the file folder with the green arrow pointing in. We can also get to insert from our home tab. But again, these quick access icons are awesome because they're right there and you can get to them quickly. So I'm going to click on insert. And when I do that, it took me to where I probably was last. So I'm on, this is the path. And I really encourage you to look at this line because it tells you where you are. So I'm on this PC, that's good. I could be up in the cloud though. You wonder why it says this PC. I'm in documents. I'm in Premiere Plus 2. That's all correct. My designs is not where we want to be. So I am going to walk you through how to get there on your machine because Lord knows where you've been last. So we're going to go to this PC. Then we're going to choose documents. Then we're going to go to Premiere Plus 2. So Premiere Plus 2 lives in your documents folder. So as long as you can get to documents by whatever hook or crook you can get there and into Premiere Plus 2, then you're in to where you need to be. I have, I guess I made a folder for our last class. You guys won't see this unless you did too. I think I kept mine out of my designs. But normally you will see guides, my designs, my pictures, samples, and system backup. We are looking for samples. You can see that on page 2, number 1, under Encore in a circle. It tells us where we're headed. We're going to Premiere Plus 2, which we're in if I look up here. Then we're going to go to samples. So I'm going to open that samples folder. And now there are samples for every module of Premiere in here. There's some for the card shop, there's some for create, there's some for cross stitch, design a liner, family tree, modify, photo stitch. There are bonus designs. Don't forget to go in there and look at all the wonderful designs that you own. Premiere Plus 2 EMB is where we're typically working. So Premiere Plus 2 embroidery. We have inspiration and explore and sketch. So I am going to open the Premiere Plus 2 EMB. I tend to be a double clicker, but if I click on it one time and it's highlighted, I can also come down here and say open. So a double click will do it, or I can highlight it and say open. So now I am in Documents, Premiere Plus 2, Samples, Premiere Plus 2 EMB. There are 4 folders in here of stuff. We have Pics and Pics 2. A lot of times people will get into the Pics folders and say, there's no stitches. And that's correct. Those are there so that you can learn how to turn artwork into stitches. So those samples are there for that reason. Both Stitch and Stitch 2 are full of designs. I'm going to open Stitch just so you can quickly see. There are a number of designs that are in Stitch. These are all fully digitized and ready and waiting for you to use. So don't forget to get into your samples occasionally and see what you have, because sometimes the perfect thing is already living on your embroidery machine or on your computer. I don't want the Stitch folder. I want the Stitch 2 folder. If I click, I can either go back or I can click on Premiere Plus 2 EMB and it takes me back to that folder. I want Stitch 2. And now I have tons more designs in here, and they're all in different folders. So if you're looking for something that you think might be a holiday, you can go check in there. We're looking for fashion today. So I'm going to go ahead and open the fashion folder. And there they are. Those icons aren't very big. And sometimes they'll pop up as a list and you want them as icons. So the way to change your view when you are inside of Premiere is right here. So everybody see that little down arrow up here? I'm going to click the down arrow. Right now I am on medium icons. You might find that you're on a list. If you're on a list, that's what you see. That's not helpful because you're usually looking for a picture of your design. So I'm going to click this down arrow again, and I'm going to go to extra large icons so we can see the designs that are in fashion. I haven't been in here in a long time. I forgot there was a dress form in there, and you can do the red hat ladies and all sorts of things. So there's lots of designs in here. We have some feathers. We have some ribbons and loops, shoes. Oh, Pam would love that, wouldn't she? All right, and some more hats. We're looking for this scroll corner. Hard to believe that that is what that towel was done with. So I am going to highlight that, and I'm going to say open, or I can double click, and it will put my design right in the middle of my screen. Okay. So before we go any further, I want you all to go find your folder that you need. And you're going to use Insert, which is the file folder up at the tippy top of your screen that has the green arrow pointing into it. And then you're going to work your way to Premiere Plus 2, Samples, Premiere Plus 2 EMB, and then Stitch 2, and then Fashion. And you're looking for the scroll corner. The designs are alphabetical once you get into your folder. So you can look for the word scroll once you're in. And if it comes up with just a list and that orange P+, then change your view so you can see what you're looking for. I just want to steal Susan's artwork. I love that behind you. I want that. And if you're having trouble finding it, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question if something's weird on your computer.
Okay, Libby,
Yes.
I am messed up.
Already? What's going on?
Well, it wouldn't let me get in. I had to shrink the screen to get the premiere. And then I had to come back down to the bottom to click off that to get the screen. And I didn't get all the instructions from the beginning.
Okay, are you in Premiere Plus 2 right now, Donna?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so have you changed your hoop?
No.
Okay, so go to your hoop icon in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Click on the hoop, choose Universal,
Okay.
and do the 150 by 150. And say okay.
Okay.
Good. All right. Now go to Insert, which is your file folder up in the upper left. No, go to Encore. I'm sorry. Go to the Encore tab. And then go to Insert, which is the file folder right next to the P+. And you're going to go to Documents, Premiere Plus 2, Samples, Premiere Plus 2 EMB, and then Stitch to Folder, and then the Fashion folder, and then the Scroll Corner is the one we want on the screen. Oh, I like Jan's sign on the back wall too, Mom Cave. That's good. Okay, Donna, did you find that?
You said pick 2?
No, Stitch 2. Is my voice okay or is it grumbly rumbly?
Okay, I got Stitch 2.
Excellent. Go to Fashion. And then double click on Scroll Corner. So that it goes onto your screen.
Got it.
Awesome. All right, you're all caught up. Good deal.
I'm not too retarded.
Not at all. It's hard when you get behind and you're like, oh, wait a minute. All right, I'm going to share my screen again so I can show you our next steps. Okay, so we have our little scroll corner. When we load a design from, Melanie, unmute yourself. Click on your microphone. Should be at the bottom of the faces. If you kind of mess around, you should have an unmute. It should look like a microphone. No luck. And
Okay, there it is.
there it is. Okay.
I went to the Premiere Plus 2 embroidery and all I had was the icons with a P in it. I didn't have
Okay.
any picture of what it was.
Okay, so I am currently showing you my screen. Let me show you how to fix that. I shouldn't say fix, I should say change. So I'm going to go to Insert, which is what you did. Okay. And right over here in the window that opens up is this little thing that looked like this when you got in. And so it looks like a list, and you can kind of see if you look really close, it looks like newspaper print. When I hover over that, there's an option to change my view. So I use the drop down arrow next to that, and that's when I can choose icons of some size. I usually just go to extra large. I want to see them. And so then it gives me a picture of each one of the items, and I can
Okay, I'll try and do that, but it didn't even give me the name of the file. It just had numbers. So let me go back. I can't see mine. It's hidden behind yours. Let me.
Sorry about that. We dropped the connection for a moment. Did that work, Melanie?
Okay, so I'm at the change.
Change
Wait.
view?
More options.
Yeah. And then use extra large icons.
Okay, all I get is one big P plus and it says 141915.
Okay, do you see the white bar up at the top above the folder that you're in? Read that path to me. Mine says this PC documents Premiere Plus 2. Read that to me.
On the one that I say has open.
Yeah, right
It
underneath
says-
open, there should be a box that has a list of things going across.
So I have sample Premiere 2 plus bonus.
Ah, you're in the wrong folder.
So
Click
I
on
go
the
back to
words.
samples,
Yep, click on samples.
Premiere plus Explorer.
Nope, Premiere Plus 2 EMB. It's like the fourth one up from the bottom.
I only have 2 folders listed under samples. Wait, let me
Did
go back
you-
to Premiere Plus 2. I have guides, my design samples, and system backup.
That is correct. Double click samples.
Says cannot be found.
Okay. My guess is when you installed, you didn't get all of your samples, unfortunately, because you maybe didn't activate in the correct order. So we're
Okay.
gonna have to work on that. I can.
I'll just follow along with the class and I'll just do that later.
Let me. No. Can you access your email right now?
Yeah,
All right. Hang on then just a second. I'm going to send you this one sample and as an email attachment, and then you can plunk it into Premiere. So hang on just one second. Let me do that so that you can actually do this this part of it with us. So there's Melanie, scroll corner. And then after class or a little bit later today, we'll get that settled for you. Here's the design. Hang tight, everybody. We've all been there, that's for sure. I'll never forget the first, the key rings. The first time I taught it, I'm wanting everybody to use a blank keychain, and nobody, about half the class didn't have it because it was in one of the updates. So I was like, now what am I going to do? But we were in-house. I was able to fix it quickly. All right. Whoops, come on. Stitch to fashion. All right. I just emailed that to you. So if you refresh your email off and on, you should be able to get the scroll corner. Hopefully. Hopefully.
hasn't come yet.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. Let me know as soon as you get it. And once you get it, you can actually double click the attachment and it will open a new window of Premiere and put it right in there for you.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, let me know. You
All right.
stay unmuted for a minute and let me know what's going on.
There it is.
Got it?
Yeah,
Okay, double click on the attachment. It should launch Premiere. And it'll take a minute. You should see an hourglass or something moving around, and it should open up another window of Premiere.
all right.
with the scroll
I
corner in it.
see you, I see yours though. Let me
Mine, okay, wait a minute.
minimize that. So if I close mail, let me minimize that. So it brought up Premier to embroidery.
Yep.
Click, double click.
Did you double click on the attachment in the email?
Not sure. Let me go back to the email.
Okay. It should launch Premiere with that scroll corner in it, in the hoop for us.
With that in it?
Yeah.
With, oh yeah, there was that there. I thought
Oh.
it was your screen I was looking at.
Nope, that was you. You had it.
Okay, now where I minimized it. Let me,
Okay, so go down to the bottom of your taskbar. You see a P plus down there.
yes.
Hover over that, and you'll have an empty hoop and a hoop with the scroll corner in it.
I got it.
Click on the one with the scroll corner. Got it. Excellent.
Yes.
Now
Wonderful.
I want you to go up to the hoop up there in the upper left-hand corner and make sure it's the universal, and then the size is 150 by 150, and then you're all caught up. You're right with us.
And natural. There we go. Okay.
Bam, you got it. All right. Thank you everyone for your patience.
you.
I really wanted
Sorry
her
about
to-
that.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens, believe me. And we usually ferret that out in class. It's like, oh, well, we're not quite installed all the way. All right, so here's my screen back. All right. Zoom, for some reason, thinks it's in charge today. And I'm like, no, stop it. Okay, so we've got our scroll corner, and we are maybe all on the Encore tab. We might not be, because Melanie, you may have been in the home tab just because of the way it loaded. But we are actually going to go back to the home tab now that we have this in our screen, so that I get my home tab ribbon bar back. And I want to rotate this so that it is upright. So up here in my ribbon bar, as I come across, there is a rotate button. And as long as I have my box around my scroll corner, that means the design is selected. If I've clicked somewhere else and there's no box, rotate is grayed out. It's not usable. So if I click on the design, it puts the box around it again, saying it's selected, and I'm going to rotate twice to make my scroll corner upright. Okay. And so now I'm going to go back to Encore, and I have my circle and my standard, and I'm going to change the number of repeats to 12. So I can either click on the up arrow till I get there, or I can click into the box and type in the number 12 and say preview. And that turned that element into a circle. So I'm going to have you all go that far. So now we are going to go to the home tab, use the rotate to rotate it 2 times so that it's upright. And then go back to Encore. Circle is selected, standard is selected with the pennants. And we're going to change the repeats to 12 and then do a preview. And then you should have a circle with 12 of those elements going around it. Yay, Donna's got it. Jan, are you good?
Got it.
Got it. Susan, you've got it, right? Good. Melanie, did yours
I'm
work?
looking for repeats.
Repeats is about 2/3 of the way across in the ribbon bar on the Encore tab. So the very first thing you have to do is make sure Encore is selected, and then repeats is over toward the right.
12.
Change that to 12, and then you have a preview button to the right of that that is blue, and you click on that, and now you have a preview of your design.
I do.
Awesome. Okay, so now, this isn't fixed yet. This is still very much changeable, so we can change the size of it. We could say, oh, I don't like 12 repeats, and I could come back in here and change it and check it out with a different number of repeats. If I notice when I bring my cursor into the interior of the design, it changes to a plus sign. When I'm outside, I'm just a pointer. When I'm inside, if I hold down my left mouse button, I can change the size. I can drag it bigger or I can drag it smaller. And I'm going to drag it smaller until, if you'll, I keep wanting to point with my fingers. The curly-McCue on each side, I want those to just touch. So I'm going to pull it in until they are just barely kissing each other. And then I will let go of my left mouse button and it will hold there. So if I'm satisfied with that, now I can click apply. I want you to notice before I do that, right now there's an oval over here as a handle for this design. That means it's still changeable. When I click apply, I'm going to get the box around it indicating that I have set it. These boxes are orange now. Remember, our individual design had white boxes around it. If you look, you can see the white boxes around each individual element. The orange boxes indicate that I now have a group. Okay, so go ahead and pull your circle in so that those curly-McCues on each side, that's a technical term, I must say, are just touching each other. And then when you click apply, it becomes a group. I'm sorry, a group with the orange handles.
Where do I put my
Cursor?
cursor to bring them closer together? I just moved the entire circle.
How'd you do that?
I have the
Hang on.
plus sign in the middle.
And you move the circle went somewhere instead of pulling in?
No, I can move it to the upper right and it stays in a circle. I can move it to the lower left. When I tried to come to the right where the that oval was, it moved it, but it didn't move it symmetrically.
Yeah, if you grab the oval, you can turn it into an oval. I'm not sure why the circle should not be moving. You shouldn't be able to drag it. So,
Cursor in the middle, I get the plus sign.
oh, I know what's going on. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me show you. Yeah. Hang on just a second. All right. Okay, watch my cursor. I'm going to do a preview. See my cursor hanging out over here?
Yes.
I'm going to click on preview. Okay, if I go inside of the circle, I have arrows on either side, on all sides of that.
Yes.
Then I can move the whole
Right.
circle.
That's, yeah.
Which is what you did by,
Yeah.
So what I really want you to do is to put your cursor inside of the design. Now I can drag it. Okay, so when I said inside of
the design,
inside
okay.
of the Encore, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, how are you moving that around? I don't understand. Got it. Got it. Okay, excellent. All right, I'm going to go back to my share screen. If you do your apply and you go, oh, I don't like that. I missed, or it's a little further apart, or I wiggled when I got ready to do something, you can come up here to this blue arrow that's right next to the hoop, and you can say undo. It gives you back your single element, and you can do it all again. And if you go, oh, no, it was okay, I didn't really mean to do that, I can do redo. And there's my stuff back. So you can undo an unlimited number of times and you can redo an unlimited number of times. Okay, so now this design, I'm on the top of page 3, is now grouped as one. I am sharing. I couldn't remember if I was in or out. There's a solid line and orange corners with a single color for each repeat. So over here in our design panel is where it shows us how many stitches there are, which is this top box. Shows us what size it is, and there are 12 colors. So because there are 12 elements in our design. So one of the things that we should always remember is if we hover over the size that is in millimeters, it'll show us what that size is in inches. So it's 5.260 inches tall and it's 5.264 inches wide. That information is available to us in inches simply by hovering. Okay, so there's no reason right now that I can think of to save this in pieces. So right now this design is grouped, but there are 12 individual pieces to it. So we're going to combine this so that we don't have 12 color changes. There would be no reason that we would want our machine to stop after it sewed out each individual element. So I'm going to go back to my home tab, which yeah, it does say that. Okay, good. I'm going to go to home, and right over here, pretty much in the middle, is my combine function. So I'm going to click on combine, and it's going to say, well, what do you want to combine, all or selected? Right now, everything's selected, so it really wouldn't matter which I chose, but I want to combine it all. Watch the design panel over there on the right when I click combine all, or I'm sorry, it won't change. Okay, combine all. So it's all combined and I still have 12 colors. Well, that's just silly. So the icon right underneath combine is color sort. And so I will say color sort, and now I have one color. I have white boxes indicating this is one individual design, and it will stitch all of them all at one time. Okay, so let's do a stop share. There you go. So now you are ready to go to the home tab, and you can combine this design, which is pretty much dead center above the hoop, and then you can color sort it.
We have a question.
Okay.
Were we supposed to make the circles smaller?
Yes. You want to drag it in so that the curls that loop up at the bottom of each design are touching each other. So if you grab like one of the elements and drag in, it'll make it smaller. You're muted or something. Did you get it to work, Donna?
Two different mouses, and I have to get the right one.
Oh, when I do my numbers for the dental office, I'm usually working on a laptop and the desktop, and I'm forever grabbing the wrong mouse. It's like,
okay. I want to move it in.
Yes. So you have to put your cursor in between the two circles, like put it on one of the embroidery elements, hold your left mouse and drag it in.
Nope. All right, be quiet. The whole thing moved.
Okay, Melanie just had that exact same problem. That means you are inside of the inner circle. You've got to be in between the circles that are on the screen. Like you've got two, grab one of the scrolls and drag it in.
I have white box.
Oh, you've already combined it then. You're going to need to undo. Undo until you have the two circles around it. Or undo until you're back to a single element, one or the other.
Okay, I have orange handles.
You've already
And
applied
element
it.
has something round.
You can't change it when you have the orange handles because you've already applied the Encore. So you have to back up one more step. Do an undo one more time. Now you should have that oval over on the right, correct? Of the outside circle, there's like a little white oval.
I just have one.
One element. Okay, now click on preview over on the right-hand side. Now you have a circle of 12. Now grab one of those scrolls and drag it in until they're touching each other. Click apply. Now you have orange boxes. Now go to the home tab and do a combine and then a color sort, which is dead center up there in the ribbon bar once you're home.
Do I combine all?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I've got one color.
Excellent. Do a color sort and then you'll have the one color. Very good. All right, so back to this screen. Our towel had another circle inside pointing in. So we're going to create another Encore circle with this fashion element again. So we're going to practice repeating our steps. And oh shucks, Melanie, let's see here. We need you to have access to that scroll element that was in your email. So we're not going to want to double click it. We're going to want to get it onto the desktop or somewhere so you can grab it. So we're going to go to insert. And we are going to go back to this same path. It should take us right back where we were. And we're going to bring that scroll corner in again. And it brought it into the middle. Do you know how to get it out of your email so you can have just one of them, Melanie, or do you need help with that?
Let me try.
Okay.
Trying to minimize your screen so I can get to my,
Oh, I can stop sharing here.
okay,
There you go.
thanks.
You're welcome. If I'd have been thinking ahead, I'd have had you copy it before we ever encored it and you would have had it on the screen. So if everyone wants to go grab that scroll, do another insert and it'll dump it right in the middle of your screen, and that's what we want.
Repeat.
So how do I move it to my screen? I have my email up and I've downloaded it and I can click to open it.
Okay, pay attention to where it is, and then do an insert from inside of your Premiere screen and go navigate to where it is and then open it. So it's in your downloads right now. It's in your downloads folder. So click on the file folder up there on the upper left that is insert, and then go to downloads over on the left-hand side, and then double click that and it'll put it on your screen right smack dab in the middle.
I clicked on it. Minimize that, minimize. I don't know where my original one is with the first circle on it.
Go to your P plus down there at the bottom, hover over it in your taskbar. You should be able to see that window and click into it.
I don't have it.
Did you close Premiere rather than minimizing it
I-
then?
I don't think I closed it, but
There's no P plus at the bottom right now.
there is a P plus.
And when you hover over that, what do you have?
Untitled Premiere 2, Embroidery Ultra, Scroll Corner, Premiere 2.
Okay. the one
Okay,
with the scroll-
there's two Ps. Let me see if I can open the other one. In the bottom, I have two P pluses.
I know, because we opened one and then we opened a second one to get you the scroll corner. I believe you want the scroll corner.
Okay, I'm at Scroll Corner and
Slide your mouse up and open that one.
oh my goodness, I had no idea. Okay,
Does that have your circle in it?
yes,
Okay, let me do a share screen here then. real
all
quick.
right, let me pull you back up.
And this is good for all of you to know how to do, because if someone sends you a design and you want it and you want to get it into Premiere, I'm going to show you right now how to do that. So I went to my scroll corner that I sent to Melanie, which I believe everybody can see. Can you see my email screen right now?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So the scroll corner is here. So I clicked on download. Okay, so now I know that that is downloaded. So then I'm going to go back to my Premiere screen, which is right here. And I'm going to go to insert. This one's already here, so I'm going to get rid of it just so you can watch the magic happen. Okay, I'm going to go to insert. And remember, we walked our way all the way to here to get it because we had it on our computer, but this is a download right now that she's trying to access. So over here on the right, or I'm sorry, right, left challenge, I'm going to go to my downloads folder and I'm going to click this drop down arrow. Goodness gracious. And it's going to be a stinker. I just downloaded that. Why is it not showing that to me? I know I did. Okay, I double clicked downloads. So it opened the folder. There's that scroll corner that I just downloaded out of my email. Now remember, I'm in Premiere Plus because I said insert and I want to open that. I'm going to click on my scroll corner and I'm going to say open, and it's going to dump it right in the middle of my screen. So that's how you can grab a design that you've purchased from somewhere sometimes and you've downloaded it and you're like, how do I get that out of my downloads and into my Premiere? And this is a way to do that. Okay, so now we have this scroll element down here again. So I am on number 15 says move the design into the circle so you can see it. Mine loaded right into the middle, so I didn't have to move it. Now, I want to mirror this to reduce the number of jump stitches. So to mirror it, and I know that just because of experience, I can either mirror it right to left by getting my cursor over on the triangle that is on the left-hand side. That would flip it that direction. I'm going to put it back. That's not what I'm after. Or I can flip it upside down. And you really can't hardly see this happen, but it did. And it changes where it starts. So I mirrored it top to bottom. Not a big deal if you do or you don't. And I'm on the home tab and I'm going to resize this one, which is right here. The blue boxes that say resize. I need it to be smaller so it can be on the inside of my circle. So I'm going to click on resize. And I've already done the work for you. I know that we're going to resize this design by 80%. So we're not going to drag on the handles. Notice the handles have turned blue. And what I want everyone to realize, and many of you already do, if I look over here in the design panel, it tells me that this is 601 stitches. When we use resize, whoops, right here, to change the size of it, it will compensate stitches for me. So if I make it way bigger, it'll add more stitches. And if I make it smaller, it will take away stitches. And that's important because when we make a design little, if it keeps all the stitches, you're going to be stitching on top of yourself hundreds and hundreds of times, and you'll break needles. So we are going to change the size of this by a mathematical number, which is the 80%. So resize is here, it's on, it's highlighted. I have blue handles. I'm going to go right here to modify design. And I am going to reduce its size to 80%. Right now, proportional is checked, meaning that when I change it to 80% in width, it automatically changes the height too. So it's keeping it proportional. Often you want to do that, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want something to get taller but not wider. So if proportional is checked, it will change both. And I am going to say that I want to change it, the angle, by 270 degrees. So I'm going to do 2.7. So that'll change my angle. Notice my preview is here. So you see what that's going to do. And I'm going to say, okay. And it rotated that 270 degrees. And now it is facing down with the blue handles. And I'm going to turn off resize. That was a lot of steps and a lot of talk. So I'm going to stop. Hello, there we go. And I'm going to allow you guys to do that. So we are starting with, we've got our scroll corner on the screen. It's in the center. And we're going to just get a double-ended arrow on that triangle that's on the top and click one time. You won't see anything happen. It just changes the start position of it. Then you're going to go to resize, which is up in your ribbon bar. You'll end up with blue handles around your design once you click on resize. After you have the blue handles around the design, you're going to use the modify design icon, which is right up there next to rotate, which we used earlier. And we're going to make two changes in the modify design window. We're going to change the size of the design by 80%. We're going to make it 80% of what it was. And we're going to type in the angle of 270 so that it rotates that design around to pointing down. And once you have it resized and rotated, you want to turn off resize, and it's a toggle. So when you click on it, that orange background will go away. Everybody good? Good job, Donna. Melanie, did you get it? You're muted. Barbara, I'm assuming you're good. We're not hearing anything from you. You let me know if you need something.
Yeah, it's a little bit behind because I had to download it and bring it in. So now it's
that's
in.
right.
So I'm
That's
going
right.
to go back and follow those instructions.
Okay, very good. Very, very good. That's right. I forgot. I showed you how to do it. I didn't give you time to do it. So yes. So the very first thing is to resize, which is up there in your ribbon bar.
I can't get it to highlight just the one in the center.
Do you have a box around the one that's in the center?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Press your tab key one time on your keyboard. Now, do you have a box around?
I do.
Yay. Excellent. Because the outer design is bigger, when you click, it grabs it. And the other way to choose to move between designs is right up there next to resize in the ribbon bar. There's previous design and next design up there for moving. The tab is so easy. You can move through the designs using the tab key. But next design and previous design is up there. So now click on resize and you should get blue handles around your little guy that's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now go to modify design, which is next to rotate. Go to your right, like
Yes, yes.
3 icons. Click on that.
Go
And change
80.
it to 80 and the angle to 270. And say okay, and then turn off resize.
Okay.
Awesome, good stuff. And I wanted to mention, and I won't think of it later, I did earlier this week, last week, what is today? Today's Tuesday. It must have been, I guess I did it Monday. Recorded an orientation for PP2 in both the Mac and the Windows version. It's out there on Quilt Beginnings website. And so if you want a refresher, feel free to go view that. It's a free video. It's about an hour long. And it goes through a lot of the different pieces and parts of the screens and where things are. Okay, so now we have our design in the center of our screen, and to Melanie's point, she had a box around the outside one, and she's going, I can't resize that. So you can either use the previous and next design icons that are up here in the center of the ribbon bar, or you can press the tab key to get to the other element. So we're going to go back to the Encore tab now, and we want to make certain before we go that our center element is the one that has the box around it. Because if we try to Encore when we've got this box, it's going to try to Encore that circle multiple times. So we want to make sure that this element is selected. I'm going to go to the Encore tab, and I'm going to use all the settings that I had before: circle, standard, 12 repeats, and preview. Okay, so put it on top of my other design, and I'm going to grab on to watch my cursor change to the plus. Now I don't want to be in here, that's the arrows. I want to be inside of the design itself, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag and I'm going to pull that in so that it lines up. See how it makes a kind of a pretty little diamond in the middle when it's touching? And I'm going to let go, and I'm going to say apply. And now you see my orange boxes are around the inner design. I have 12 colors again, and I have 7,212 stitches, which I failed to show you that changed when we resized that. I totally meant to do that before. Okay, so I want you all to do that. So you're going to make sure that that single element in the center has the box around it. You're going to go to Encore. You're going to select preview. It's going to put a circle of those designs on top of the first set, and then you're going to draw it inward, drag it inward until it's just touching. Everybody good? Excellent. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again then. Now, if you were super fussy, super picky, and a lot of us are, you've got a zoom slider bar down here in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and you can click on that plus, 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 and you can bring that. It's not changing the size of the design, it's just changing your view. And then you can bring it in tighter. And so I could have done that before I clicked apply to see if those were touching the way I wanted them to. And once I don't want to be zoomed in anymore, this plus right here is zoom to fit. It's just to the left of the slider bar. And if I click that, it puts me back to my original view. So that's just a view sort of a thing. Okay, so we've got our inner circle, and again, it's still individual elements grouped. So I'm going to go back to the Home tab, and I'm going to click on Combine. And this time I am not going to use Combine All, because if I do that, it would combine the inner circle with the outer circle. And so I'm going to choose Combine Selected, and that is going to make my inner circle a design. See how the boxes, the white boxes are white again. The white boxes are white. The boxes at the corner are white, indicating that it has been combined, and the outer design is a design. So I'm going to click on that outer circle. I've got one color. If I use Next Design, I get to the inner circle and I have 12 colors. So now I want to color sort my inner circle. And the reason that it takes it down to the one color, I'm going to let you guys do that. The reason I've kept them separate is I actually use two different colors on my towel. I use a darker blue for the outer circle and then lighter blue for the inner circle. If you wanted it to be all one color, you could combine the whole kit and caboodle. So go ahead and walk through those steps. So you're headed to the home menu. Your inner circle should be selected. You're going to do a combine selected, and then color sort. And if you make a misstep, remember you can undo and then do it the way you meant to do it.
Libby, did we want just one color and the color so?
There will only be one color showing up right now. It'll either be for your inner design or your outer design, because we haven't combined the two together, and we don't want to do that just yet. Again, I did my towel with a darker blue on the outside and a slightly lighter. It's very subtle, but I think it's kind of fun to have that darker outer circle in the lighter inner circle. Okay, so now, everybody good? Okay. Now I remind you of the design player, which is a way to see your design stitch out. It's an icon on the home screen in the ribbon bar. It's also an icon up here in the quick access bar. So we can grab that when we're in other modules. So you can use either one, same thing. And I know I've said this before, the beauty of the software is the multiple ways that you can access things. The complexity of the software is the multiple ways that you can access things. So if I click on the design player, there's my design, and I can actually see how it's going to stitch out. Make it a little bigger. I'm going to click on play, and you will see it begin to stitch very, very slowly. Every time you click fast forward, it doubles the speed of the stitch out. So you can click that several times. I've clicked it about 5 now to get it to stitch faster. So you can see the order that your design will stitch out. So it has started with the outer circle, and then it begins with the inner circle. And I don't know if you noticed, but when it started on this second element, it started right where it stopped. And that was a function of us mirroring that to begin with. So it started right there. So that is the design player. And I'm going to let everybody run that on your screen, so you have a chance to see that happen. And it's just kind of a nice way, especially if you have a whole bunch of different designs together, you get to see the order of stitch out. And remember, fast forward doubles the speed every time, so you can get it to stitch faster. And the other thing that's of note in the design player is it will stitch in the order of creation by default. So we made the outer circle first, so it stitched the outer circle, and then we did the inner circle. And we have options to change those orders should we want to. Okay. All right, now to the part that just sends everybody into a frenzy. Not everybody, a lot of people. We want to save this right now, and we want to do a save as, and save it as a VP4 to start. And VP4, remember, is the for everyone format. It's the working file format. So we're going to save it as a VP4 file so that if we wanted to, we could come back in here and have access to the two circles easily, because right now they're individual. Remember, we only have one color over here when I'm on the inside circle and one color when I'm on the outside circle. So I'm going to save this into pieces, so to speak, inside of one file. So I can either go to File and choose Save As, and look at that icon. It looks like a floppy disk with a pencil. Well, guess what? That same icon is right there, Save As. So it's whichever is most comfortable for you. I am going to click on Save As. And now I have to decide where I want to save it. I recommend that you always save all of your designs inside of the My Designs folder. So it's inside of PC, Documents, Premiere +2. Remember, My Designs was one of the folders that was up there. If you would like to, and this is also maybe another recommendation, you can create a new folder and call it whatever you want to. So this could be your Encore class. I'll do that. I'm going to say new folder, and I'm going to name it Encore class. Hopefully I don't already have one. I've typed in the name. I'm going to hit enter. It made the folder. Now I'm still in the My Designs folder. I have to open the Encore class folder if I want to save this design inside of it. So I'm going to double click on Encore class. Notice now I'm in Documents, Premiere +2, My Designs, Encore class. Oh, looky there. There's nothing in there. That's because I just made the folder. That's good. It's empty. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to name my file. Right now it's untitled. That's not how I want to, excuse me, save it. Got the hiccups. I'm going to call it Double Scroll. So I'm going to type in the word Double Scroll, Encore, and it's going to automatically put that VP4 file ending on it, just like when you do a Word document, it's .doc. It does it for you. And I'm going to say save. So now up here at the top, instead of untitled Premiere +2, it says Double Scroll Encore Premiere +2. Everybody go ahead and do that. So save as, navigate to the My Designs folder. If you want a new folder, create it and open it.
Libby, repeat that naming again, please.
The name of it, Double Scroll Encore. Okay. Everybody good? Awesome. Okay.
So if we come back to this, can we, and we want to change the color, like a different one for the outer one than inner one, can we, while we pull up our save file, can we go to the different components?
Yes, we sure can. Boy, you're a great straight man. You led me right into that.
Oh.
I was
Okay, sorry.
to you. I love it. Absolutely. And that's part of the beauty of saving it in multiple parts like that. So let me come back. Yes, right now it is a two-part design. So if, for instance, I was to leave and I go, okay, I'm out. I've closed Premiere. Notice it's no longer open. So I can launch Premiere Plus 2. Bring it right back up. And I'm going to say, oh, hello, why are you small? I'm going to insert the design that we just created, and it went there. It remembered where I was. So I'm Documents, Premiere Plus 2, My Designs, Encore class. Oh, gee, there's that stupid P plus back again, which shows me nothing. So if I want to verify that's what it is, I come right over here in this window and I say more options and I say, show that to me, please. There's my double scroll Encore. I made extra large icons. Now I can open that and it plunks it right back in. It brought it in as a group. You see, I've got orange handles. So, but it's still two separate pieces. So yes, I can change the colors to suit myself. So if I say, oh, okay, when I hover over color number 1, you can see that that's the outside ring. When I hover over color number 2, that's the inside ring. So if I wanted to do this in 2 colors of pink, I can double click color number 1 and it opens up my color palette. And I say, I don't want to use sulky. I'm going to do show all thread ranges instead of my thread ranges. Again, you can set up your thread ranges. I'm just going to say, show me all of them. And I'm going to say, I want to use Floriani because that is what we have at the shop. And I know I can get what I want. So I'm going to go to Floriani Poly 40 and choose that. And now this quick color will take me to the color range down in here that I want to be in. So if I want to be in pink, I can click on the pink and then I can scroll and see a lot of the different pink colors. And so for my outer ring, I think I like this hot pink. So I'm going to say PF 106. I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to say, okay. And so now my outer ring is that hot pink. And I'm going to click on the second color. I'm going to double click it and open it up. And I'm going to, again, get into the Floriani. So I'm going to do show all. And I'm going to scroll up here to Floriani Poly 40. Right here. If I knew the thread color, let's say I had it in my hand, I could type it in right there and it would go to it. So if I'm looking at the top of my spool and it says it's color number 104, I have no idea where that'll take. Oh, it did take me to a pink. I did remember, holy moly. That was just a wild guess. But if I was holding 104 in my hand and that was the color I wanted, I type it in for fine thread and say, okay. So then I have a hot pink on the outside and a medium pink on the inside. So yes, you can change those colors. Go ahead and do that so that you can play with that a little bit and make your two different. And you can do that right in the screen that you're in. That's okay.
Okay, Libby, I have one color. How can I get the inner circle?
You are on the inner circle right now, probably, right, Donna? Okay, so change the color on the inner circle and then click on the outer circle and you can change the color for that one. Okay, you're still in 2 pieces. That's okay. Change both colors by clicking on the design or tabbing to get to the different designs. So change one and then change the other.
Yeah, mine's,
Yeah, when I brought it back up, it brought it back up grouped. So that looks a little weird to you guys, but you can change the inner circle and then click on the outer circle and change it.
so we go to ungroup.
No, you don't need to ungroup.
Well, I have just the one color on the right.
Correct. And hover over it. Is it the inner circle or the outer circle? Put your cursor just over that color and see what changes on your work area.
Nothing changes inner to outer.
When you just put your cursor sitting on top of the color over in the design panel, one of those colors should change. No?
No, I only have one color on the right under color sort.
Right. Put your cursor over it. Put your pointer on it, but don't click. And then look in the work area
Everything's the same color.
with your cursor on top of the color
Color.
in the design panel. Over there by color number 1. If you put
Yes,
your cursor
I have
on-
just one color, and that's the same color for the whole thing.
Right.
So I
Okay.
don't have an inner or outer, it's grouped as one.
What color are the boxes around it?
White.
Oh, somehow yours got combined. You combined the whole thing. Do an undo. Do the little blue arrow back. Now what do you see?
It's still white. Hit it again,
Yeah.
still white. So can I go to ungroup?
I don't think so because you
Okay.
already, it's not a group. It's actually a flattened design at this point. It got combined. Keep undoing, see what happens. Watch what you, don't go too far. But at some point, you should get a box around.
Ah, okay, now I see a bunch of colors. Okay. Now it's one. I go back and I get two,
So
three,
do a
four, five.
redo.
And okay, now to the right, I have 12 colors.
Okay, now press your tab key and see if the box around the design changes which, whether it's the inner circle or the outer circle that box is around.
No. I would
Give
just have to go back to my previous work and then resave. Yeah, I saw when you saved it, you had the inner one was showing, but mine wasn't at that point.
I
Okay,
think what happened is when we did our second, when you got to step number, so that you watch this when you walk back through it on your own, step number
Okay.
25 on page 4.
okay,
When you combine that second time, you have to do combine selected instead of combine all. And I'm pretty sure you combined all.
selected. I'll underline that. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. All right. So come back. Hello. What did I just do? Oh, there we go. I lost what I just did too. I was like, where did we go? All right, hang on just one second. All right, so I now have the 2 different colors and they are grouped. And so you were asking, Melanie, if you can ungroup. You can if you have a group. So like right now, I can say ungroup and restrict. Oh, daggone it. There's group. Wait a minute. If I do ungroup, then I can click out here and I have the 2 separate items, but I can't ungroup white handled designs. They are what they are, okay?
If they're VP4, no.
Now, you can save a flattened design as a VP4, so it's very important that you save before you come up here and do a combine all. Once you've combined all, you can still save it as a VP4, but it's no longer a group. It is a flattened design.
Okay.
All right. So now, when I only have one color showing, that means it is, the white handles can be confusing because it's like, oh, well, this is all one design. No, it's not, because that second color is not showing. If I press my tab key, I still have this as 2 pieces. And this is when, if I do a combine all, it will make it a single design that is these colors. So if I come up here and I do combine all, now when I press my tab key, it doesn't go anywhere. This is all one design. Both colors are in the design panel. So you all have done this, and up here at the top, you have double scroll Encore. I have untitled because I opened up a new one. Okay, so if you wanted to save this as the colors that you just chose, you would do a file, a save as, and now I would call this double Encore scroll pink. Double, whoops, scroll Encore pink, and say save. So then I would have both of those designs in that folder, the pink one and the one that was in the two pieces. If I come back to here and I go to Premiere Plus 2 EMB, my designs, and I go to my Encore, where'd you go? Too far. Should be right in front of my nose. You guys are probably seeing it and I'm not. Encore class. If I open that up, I can see that I have the double scroll Encore and the double scroll Encore pink. If I look at my designs through File Explorer, I can change my view here as well. And I think this gets confusing because inside of Premiere, remember that change view was over here in this white bar. Inside of File Explorer, it's right up here, it's view. And I can go to my extra large icons and then I can see my double scroll and my double scroll pink. Okay. All right, so if you've changed your colors, you can now make this ready for your machine. And is everybody good with your color changes?
No.
Okay, what you got going on?
My inner circle has the white corners.
That's good. And then if you press tab, your outer circle has white corners as well, right? You have two separate designs on the screen right now. Nope. What's your outer circle have?
My other outer circle didn't jump up to the white tabs.
What's it got around it?
Nothing.
Press your tab key.
Nothing.
Do you have two circles on the screen? Okay, try using next design up at the top in your ribbon bar, the green arrow, and see if you can move between the two designs.
Oh shoot, I think I hit the wrong thing. Oh, shoot, this daggone thing, shut up.
Dawn and her echo, we got to get her straightened out.
I don't have anything on the outer.
Well, Donna, what if you click on one of the outer elements, like one of the embroideries that's in that outer circle? What happens? There it is. Okay.
I got white tabs.
Okay, there we go. Awesome. All right, I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go through how do I export this in order to stitch it out. So I went back to my original one, just so you guys can see it. Oh, I thought I did. I loaded it, but it didn't bring it up with the title. So I'm going to do my file save as real quick so that it looks exactly the same as yours. I'm going to call it double scroll Encore VP4 because it's in two pieces. And I'm going to click save. It's going to tell me it already exists. Yes, go ahead and overwrite it. So double scroll Encore Premiere Plus 2 EMB, right? So now if I change those colors, like we talked about, and I say pink, and I say okay, and then I go to my second one and I double click it and I say pink. These aren't as pretty as the ones I picked earlier, but they'll do for now. Now remember, if I were to save this, I'd overwrite my original one. And that's not what I want to do right now. I want to export the pinks for my machine. So export is right up here. It's the floppy disk with the arrow out, saying export, or I can say file, export. Either one will bring up this screen. We never, ever, ever export as a VP4. That's our working file. We save as VP4s. We're going to export to our machine's language. So we're going to pick on the drop down arrow next to the VP4, and we have all of these different file formats that we can use. If I'm a FOF user, Husqvarna Viking FOF, I will use VP3, okay? If I am a Baby Lock or a Bernina user, I'm going to select PES. I can also use PEC. I tend to want to use the topmost of whatever it might be rather than one of the others, but there are multiple options. If you're a Brother, Baby Lock, or Bernina user, again, PES or PEC will work. If you've got an older Viking, it's an SHV. We don't use those very often. Same with the FOF and Viking, the VIP. Those are for the much older machines. I don't think any of you have those. EXP, this Melco expanded, also works for Berninas, but when you do that, the colors are wild. It does not keep, it doesn't show you the colors that you picked on your machine. So Melanie, what are you, unmute yourself, what are you sewing on? I think I know what everybody else has.
I have an icon.
You have an icon? Okay, so you'll use the VP3. Excellent. So and Donna, I believe you might have a new machine. Did I hear a rumor? Okay, I'm going to show how to export in the VP3, which is the FOF. So I will select FOF VP3. This area right here says optimized for sewing. It's going to combine the design for me, which is good because right now it's a group, right? It's got the orange handles, which is what I wanted to save it as, but I want to export it combined so my machine will read it. It'll remove any overlap. So if I put one design on top of another, it'll take out stitches underneath so we don't get a buildup. It will automatically color sort for me, which we can also manually do in the program, and it will optimize my stitch length. So I am going to now say, okay. And it says, where do you want to export it to? So again, I get this path. I tend to export everything to my hard drive as well as to a USB stick because I want to keep a copy of the exported design. So I'm going to look for my Encore folder, which is Encore class right here. And I'm going to open that. And then down here under file name, it brought the file name that we saved it as, double scroll Encore, and it's adding the word exported, saying this is your stitchable file. You are exporting this. I'm translating it from French to German so your machine can read it, for instance. So then I just say export, and that put that in that Encore folder. I'm going to go to File Explorer so you can see it. There's my double scroll Encore in the original colors. There's my double scroll Encore exported in the two new colors that I just did. And there's my VP4 of the two pinks that I had also saved as. So the two VP4s are save as, and this is an exported file. All right, so go ahead and export yours, choosing your machine's file format. I'm going to grab just a little bit more water while you're doing that. I suspect there'll be questions. I'll be right back. drop one in there. Did everybody get that to work?
When I go to do that, it doesn't give you to export it listed 4 different things it was gonna do.
Yes?
I don't have the top 2.
Oh, the combine and the, let me think, combine and color
Remove
search?
overlap.
Remove overlap? Okay. Something funky's going on with your installation. We're gonna take a look at that. Go
Okay.
ahead and go through. It'll be okay. Go ahead and go through and export it, and we will double check that. Everybody else okay? Excellent. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. And show you what happens. I now have 2 ways of getting that to my machine, well, 3 ways of getting that to my machine, depending on what kind of machine I have. If I want to put it on a USB stick, I can copy it, which you all know how to copy files from one folder to another to get it to the USB stick. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Stop it. Go away. Okay, or stop. Oh, this must be a really full USB stick. Sorry about that. I just grabbed something that was nearby. Let's try that again. Get rid of that. All right, get rid of you. Let's try this one. This looks like it might be better. No, it won't. Too many USB sticks, which is why I save everything on my hard drive, because I have no idea what's on all of these and it's a pain in the neck. So I try to keep them cleaner so that I can just put on what I want to stitch out. Okay, so it's still got a fair amount of stuff on it. All right, to get it to the USB stick, I can choose export again, and I can say, let's export this. Melanie's missing combine and remove overlap. That's so weird. Okay. VP3, I'm going to say okay. And now instead of putting it on my hard drive, I would choose my USB stick and I would export it to there. So over here on the left-hand side, I would choose my USB stick and say export, and it would put it on that USB stick. So if I go here and I open up the USB stick, we can see that the double scroll Encore exported is now on that stick. Again, to change the view, when I'm in File Explorer, I go to View and say Extra Large Icons, and there it is. Okay. The other thing that I can do, if I have a SONET connectable machine, is I can send it directly from this little icon down here. If my machine were on, if I had a FOF icon, it would show up right here, and I can send it directly to the machine from this SONET cloud. Okay. As long as the computer and the sewing machine are on the same Wi-Fi network. I have a friend who called who was losing her mind. She said, I keep sending it and it won't go. And I said, your husband is a nerd tech. Do you have 2 Wi-Fi networks in your house? And she said, yes. I said, are both machines on the same network? She said, no. I said, well, then it never gonna find it. So you do have to be on the same network if you're gonna do that. Okay. Questions, anybody? Good. All right, excellent. Get rid of that. Okay. Where am I? All right, so we've exported and we are now good to go. So we're going to do a new design. So I'm going to come up here to File, and I'm going to say New. And it says, do you want to save the changes to that? I've already done that, so I'm going to say no. And it's going to give me a new window that is clean and ready to go. So File, New, it'll ask you if you want to save that. You've already done that multiple times, so you can say no, and it'll give you a nice clean new window of Premiere. All right. I'm on page 5 of our handout. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to take another look at the circle and play a little bit with creating a clock face right now. So we're going to change our hoop. I'm going to go up here to my quick access, change hoop, and I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to the 200 by 200, and I'm going to say okay. And now we're going to go to the letter tab, and we're going to pick out some numbers for our clock. So I'm going to go to letter, and the font that I want to use is the Sans uppercase, and it's in the modern category. So to access the fonts, we're going to use this drop down arrow right next to the font gallery. And all of the fonts are in order. I'm going to scroll up here. Melanie's new to the software, by their type. So this is an applique font, children. We're going to roll on down here until we find the modern group, which is right here. So I've scrolled down through the different groups, and we're going to use Sans, Sans, whatever it is, uppercase. UC means uppercase. So I'm going to use this font. And to do that, I just select it. It becomes the font that shows up in the gallery viewer. And then in order to enter characters in that font, I'm going to click into the letter box. And I want the default size, whoops, oh my, sorry, letter. I do want the default size of 20 millimeters. It comes in at the small end of the range, and that's what I want to use. And I'm going to type in the number 12 for the top of my clock. So there's 12. I have 20 millimeters, and I'm going to ignore all this other stuff for the moment, and I'm going to click apply. So there's my 12 right in the center of my machine. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to let you all go and change your hoop using the hoop up in the quick access or the hoop in the ribbon bar. It doesn't matter. Same difference. Choose universal 200 by 200. And then we're going to click the drop down, or we're going to click the letter tab, the drop down font viewer, scroll down to, or probably up to modern. I think it comes in the traditional every time. So look for the modern category and do Sans uppercase. And then put in the number 12 and click apply. Everybody good? Got a number 12? Excellent. Now we're gonna get fancy. I'm gonna share my screen. And the numbers 1 through 9, top of page 6, can be added all at one time. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take the number 12 out of there, and I'm going to type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I'm going to click apply. So there's the rest of my numbers. They are in a group right now, which is okay. We're gonna deal with that in a minute. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take those away, and I'm going to type in 11, and I'm going to click apply. So now I have all the numbers of my clock. So I want you to do the same.
You need a 10, Libby.
Oh, we do. Why? Oh, whoops. Yeah, do a 10 as well. Do a 10 and an 11. Thanks, Jan.
Anytime.
I
I
don't
know,
want to do 10 o'clock. So you should have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as a group, and then 10 and 11 if you want all the numbers on your clock. My kids used to, we weren't allowed to show any affection before 10 o'clock because they got embarrassed. That's why I got rid of 10 o'clock. My son said, it's not 10 o'clock yet. No. Okay, everybody got your numbers on the screen?
yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you the next step then. Okay, so now we are going to, this is going to be, and I think my 10 should have been before my 11. So I'm going to, you guys probably did it right. I'm going to switch them. I'm gonna do that. Not sure if it mattered, but it might have. All right. I am going to go to the home screen and I'm going to select all. And I really don't think this is going to work. Maybe it will. I don't know. I feel like I've done something wrong. Jan, I don't think you kept me on track long enough. So I'm
No.
doing a select all. Notice that I have a temporary group now, and I am going to go to the Encore menu. Tab, I'm sorry, and I'm going to use circle, and I'm going to use standard, and I'm going to click preview. And that did not work at all. What have I done? Oh, shucks. I knew that all along. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. My bad. Rats. How am I going to help you guys do this without? All right, first of all, there we go. Okay, I've got them back as, all right. Get to learn something that's not on your sheet. All right, so I am going to now select my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I knew it when I did it. And I was like, why did you do that, you goofball? I've got workers at the house and I think they're getting ready to leave and they've got me distracted. So I think that's what my problem is. So I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to right click on that and it's going to open up a drop down list of all different sorts of things I can do. I want to go to properties because there's no need for me to retype these numbers. And I am going to come down here and it's not going to let me do it here. You got to be kidding me. Does anybody see individual on there? Shoot.
Nope.
No. I thought that was in properties. Nope, that lets me change. Size, gap, color sort, connection, running stitch, trim. That's my shape. Well, shucks. All right, I goofed. When we did this, we needed to, and this is going to put it out of order. So actually you're going to get to practice because otherwise it's going to goof everything up. I apologize. So I'm going to take these out. Sorry. Delete. Get to learn how to use your delete button on the home screen. So I deleted my sets of numbers because I want to put them in order or I'm going to be goofed up. Tim would have been in the wrong place too, Jan. So good job for straightening me out. All right. So you're going to delete the 11, the 10, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to have 12 on the screen because we want to put things in order. Remember, it stitches out in the order we put them in, and I don't want to get into a big layout order lesson today. So we're gonna back up and do this again. So now I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what I forgot was to put a check mark in individual. I do not want these to be a group. I want them to be individual numbers so they can go around my clock face. So I put a check mark in individual and then I click apply. Now you'll see that they have come in as a group, but they are actually individual numbers because you can see their little green boxes around each and every one of them. Okay. Once I've done that, I'm going to put in 10 and say apply. And I'm going to drag that down to underneath just so I can see. And then I'm going to put in 11 and say apply. No, I'm not. Goodness gracious. Sorry. All right. Try this one more time. My bad. Goodness. All right. So on letter, we did put in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we put in individual. Okay. So that those are individual numbers. Now we're ready for number 10. We need that to be a group. We needed that to be a single stitch out. We don't want that to be a 1 and a 0. So I have to take the check mark out of individual. The only time I want individual is when I do 1 through 9. And that is actually in your instructions. So if I would carefully read, it would have been there. I'm going to apply number 10. See how it is its own individual. It's got green handles all the way around it. And now I'm going to do 11. You guys all did that so well. Nobody had trouble, and I was the one who screwed it all up. So my apologies. So go ahead and click on number 11. Go to your home screen, click delete, click on the number 10, click delete, and click on your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and click delete on the home screen. So see, we all do these silly things sometimes, and you go, why didn't that work? Okay, so once you've got that all cleared out, then go back to your letter tab and do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and click the individual box, which is just to the right of all the shapes, and click apply. After you've done that, clear out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, put in 10, take the check mark away from individual, and then click apply. And excuse me for just a second, I think my guys are leaving. So you guys work on getting 10 and 11 in there, and I'll be right back. Are you all done? You got your workout in today, didn't you? Up and down those stairs, that's for sure. Thank you. All right, ladies, I am really sorry. I just kind of had brain something going on. Everybody okay?
It's peachy.
So if you click on 12, if you click on the number 12, you should have green boxes around it, just to verify that everybody's got what we're supposed to. If you click on any of the numbers in the string of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you get green boxes around each individual number. It came in as a temporary group, but now you can click on each individual number if you choose. 10's got a box around it if you click on it, and so does 11. Yeah?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. I can't believe I did that. I feel so bad. But you know what? You got to see how to delete, how to redo, how to individual. I was just testing you to see if you were good. Okay. So now we are going to go to the Encore tab and play with this circle. So I am going to Encore. We are going to do a circle, and our repeats, we're going to put in 12 because we have 12 numbers, and we are going to do preview. And it's, what have I done? Oh, goodness. All right, guys, I think I need food. My bad. Before we go to, okay, you've put all your numbers on the screen. I promise I'm going to calm down here and do things in the right order. Our numbers are all there. We have to do a select all because we have to tell it what we want to Encore. So I'm doing a select all, and I get the box around all of the numbers, okay? Then I'm going to go to the Encore tab. We're using circle, and we're going to do repeats of 12, and I'm going to say preview. And I have a clock face, hallelujah. Before we do anything else, I'm going to let you guys do that. So on the home screen, you have to do the select all. Then you go to your Encore screen, change your repeats to 12, and do a preview. And you should get numbers going around a circle that look like a clock face. No thanks to your instructor who has sent you down multiple rabbit holes this morning. Everybody good? Everybody got a circle of numbers?
Yep.
Woohoo! Yay, that's pretty incredible. I think I'll do things wrong more often. You guys get it better when I do that. Okay, so now we've got this clock face, and we do want to make it a little bit bigger. So remember, if I grab onto this oval, I can take it out of round and make it more oval. That's not what I'm after. If I go in the middle, you can see that I've got the cursor that has arrows going both directions, meaning I can move the whole thing, which is not what I'm after. I don't want to do that. I don't want to move the whole thing. So let me get that back pretty much in the center. I want to change the size of the circle, which means I need to be inside of where the embroidery is, grab on, and I'm going to take that 12 up 3 grid lines. So there's 1, 2, 3. And I have made my circle bigger by doing that. Okay. And I actually had that up a little bit from when I was messing around. So just make that a little bit bigger. Once I've drug it up the 3 grid lines, I'm going to say apply. So now I have a group with my numbers pretty big around the hoop. I've got like 1 grid left on the outside. So go ahead and do that to make it bigger. So you're pulling the 12 up 3 grid lines, making the bigger circle, and then saying apply. Everybody good?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So some of our numbers need to be rotated, right? The 6 is upside down. It really looks like a 9 down there. And this is a group, but each individual letter still has boxes around it. So we're going to be able to get to those to make those changes. So I'm going to go back to my home screen. And I'm going to say ungroup. So I've got group, which is grayed out because it's already a group. I've got ungroup and I've got restrict groups. So I'm going to click on ungroup. When I do that, these lines that connect my orange boxes are going to become dashed. So it became a temporary group now. I've ungrouped it and it's temporary. And excuse me. Now I can get to the individual numbers that I want. So I'm going to click on number 1. Whoops, first I have to click off of the design to make the box go away. Then I can choose number 1. And number 1 is tilted off to the right. I want it to be upright. So I'm going to go to modify design, which we used earlier, because I can change the angle here more readily. What did you just do? Oh, yeah, okay. So letter properties come up and on my there's a rotation in the letter properties. And I'm going to click in here and I'm going to say, I don't want you to be rotated 29 degrees. I want you at 0 degrees. And I can say, okay. Now my 1 is upright. I can do the same with 2, modify design. Here's my angle right here under size, and I can say 0 and say, okay. All right. You get the idea. We're going to do that going around our clock face. Do that with 1 through 5, please. So you click on the number, click on modify design, and change the angle to 0.
How do I get it to, do I have to go to home to then?
Yes, go to home and choose ungroup, which is up there, sort of in the under, it's kind of under super design tab. You see the ungroup,
Okay.
then click off of the design altogether to make the boxes go away, and then click on number 1.
Okay.
And then we're using the modify design icon to get to the rotation, not
And
the
I-
modify tab.
I rotate it to what?
0. You don't want
0.
any rotation. You want it up and down. Actually, we do it for all of them. 6 will do the same thing. I told you to stop at 5, but if you do number 6, you'll see that it's at 180 degrees, which is what's making it upside down. We want it to be 0, and that'll put it upright. So you're going to do it for all of the numbers going around the circle. 12 is the only one that had a 0 rotation. Glad I got myself back together. We're finishing our basement right now, so there have been different contractors in and out. Unfortunately, today's contractors were quiet. You never know when they're coming. They just kind of show up. Okay, everybody got all your numbers upright?
Almost.
Yeah, almost. All right.
How do I?
Question?
Got my 6 upside down still.
Okay, click on 6 and give it a 0 rotation, and that'll put it right side up.
That one too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okey doke.
All right, excellent. So now if we want to dress up our clock face, I will show you how we can do that using another area of the software. It's always fun to find more. Excuse me. We are going to go to the super design menu. So this is another place where we have digitized designs that we can use. So I'm going to click on super design. When I do that, you see animals show up. There's a category area right here. And we are going to click the drop down next to category and click on, I'm going to show you all, and then I'll show you where we're actually going. If I select all and I click the drop down, these are all of the designs that you own that you can use at any time. So be sure you get into super designs and take a look around, because there's all kinds of stuff in here. And some of them are really nice. I've used the super designs numerous times. For today's lesson, we are going to go into the category scallop. So I scroll down, there's all these different categories. So I'm going to click on scallop, and it brings up my view, my gallery viewer of scallops right here. Just like on our font gallery, we can click this drop down and see all of the scallops that are in the category. We are looking for, in the scallop 2 group, we're going to use number 4, which is a curve. So to select that, I simply click on it, and you see that show up in the gallery viewer with a highlight around it. So I've chosen scallop 2 curve, and I'm going to change the size of my scallop to 18 millimeters. So I'm simply going to click the up arrow over here in size to make it 18 millimeters, and I'm going to click apply. So now I have a scallop in the center of my screen. I'm going to have you all do the same. So you're going to super design, and the category that we're going into today is scallop. Then we're going to click the drop down arrow next to the right of the viewer of the scallops. And we want the 4th scallop in category number 2. We're changing its size to 18 millimeters, and we're clicking apply. And then we have a single scallop in the center of our screen. Very good. Scallop. Okay, so now that I have my scallop in the middle of my screen, I'm going to go back to the Encore tab because I want to have it go around the center of my clock. So I am at circle, they're all going the same direction. I have 12 repeats, which is what I want, and I'm going to say preview. And now I have a scallop inside of my clock face, which I think looks okay. And I'm going to say apply. I could change that size if I wanted to by getting inside of the 2 circles and dragging it out a little bit or dragging it in a little bit. And I can say apply. And so now I have 12 scallops, 12 colors. And you can do the same. So you're going to the Encore tab with the scallop selected. You should still have the circle selected. You should still have 12 repeats. You should be able to just click preview. You should see a circle of scallops and hit apply. Okay, now if you would like, let me show you how, and then I'll let you all do it as well. We can reduce the number of colors here by going to the Home tab. We can do combine. And Melanie, this is where you grabbed the wrong thing earlier. So that's why I wanted to do it again. So we had another chance to look at it. We're going to combine the selected, and then we're going to color sort that. So it only combined that inside design, and we can say color sort. And so now Donna, notice I've got the box on the scallops, right? If I click on the outside circle, I've got my individual numbers out there right now. And if I click on the inside, I've got a box around it because I combined it, right? I combined my selected. All right. Another tool up here on the ribbon bar is our life view. And life view shows you, if you click on it, your clock face without the grid and without the hoop and that kind of thing. So it kind of gives you a more real world view. All right, so let's have you all go ahead and combine your internal circle, combine selected, and then color sort that so it's a single color. And you can do a live view if you like, and you can see your clock without without the hoop and without the grid and that sort of thing. Sometimes it's nice to get those boxes out of the way when you're really trying to look at something and see if it looks like you want it to look.
Okay, Libby,
Yes.
I've got white handles around.
Around your scallop, right? Yep.
Now, do we change color here?
You can if you want to. Great practice. You can change that color and make it some other color if you like. I didn't, but you can.
How do I get a square around?
Square around what, Melanie?
Well, I'm clicking on it. I have my numbers and then I have my scallops, but there are no squares around any of it.
Over on the right on your design panel, what do you see? Is there one color, two color?
I have no colors. So how do I?
Are you in live view right now?
I'm in home.
You're on home, okay. And you've got your numbers all the way around the outside and you've got your scallops on the inside. Click on one of the scallops.
Okay.
You get a box around that, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's correct. The numbers are all still individual. We have not grouped those. We took them apart so we could rotate them. So you could click on each individual number. So like if you wanted a confetti clock face sort of thing and turn color, you could change each individual if you wanted to. We're going to allow the software to do that combine when we export it rather than doing that combine right now. Okay.
So do I delete the colors?
No. Leave
2
them
through 12?
No, leave them all there.
All
They're just
there,
all
okay.
individual. When we export it, it'll combine it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our clock, we have our clock face, and we can do the same thing we did earlier. I guess I made the folder name was Encore, but I'm going to put it in there anyway because it's kind of our Encore class. So I'm going to do a file, save as. And remember, I could have used the little icon up there that had the floppy disk with the pencil. It brought me back to my Encore class, and I'm going to call this one Scallop Clock Face. Scallop Clock Face. It will automatically put my VP4. VP4 is for everyone. It's our working file. And I'm going to say save. It put my name up here so I can see it. Scallop Clock. Man, I can't talk anymore today. Scallop Clock Face. And so then I can export it. Remember, that's the save as, this is the export, or I can get to them from file, whichever you're most comfortable with. Export. I'm going to pick my icon or FOF. It's going to do all the things for me. I'll say, okay. So it's a VP3. I always want to export in my machine language. And it took me back to my Encore class. It renamed my file saying scallop clock face exported, which is what I want. I can see my other exported file there, and I click on export. And now I've exported it. All righty, go ahead. With a save as first, that names the design and saves it with the pieces and parts. So you could go back and change colors on everything if you wanted to.
Okay, so I have select all, and all the numbers and all the scallops have their grayed out things around, and the outer square is yellow with the dotted lines.
That's fine.
So
You just grouped it. When you did select all, you grouped it. That's okay.
so then where do I go from here?
File, save as.
Oh, okay.
You mean I'm there? I love it.
Okay. And what'd you call it?
Scallop clock face.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to do another share screen. We're going to do scallops in a line this time. And I'm going to show you a little trick. This is not in, this isn't in your instructions, but it's something that you probably all do anyway when you're in word processing. If you like pirate something from one document and you're going to use it for another one. So I am going to clear my screen, but leave Premiere open. So I'm going to do a select all, which is right here, and I'm going to say delete. And I'm getting ready to make a new design. The danger in doing that is it is the scallop clock face right now, right? So if I forget when I'm all finished and I just do a save on this, it'll overwrite, it'll probably ask me, but it'll overwrite my original design. So I like to rename right away. So I do file. Oh, it's not going to let me until I put something on the screen. I've got to put something on the screen, and then I can do a save as and I can rename it, or I can do it at the end. Either way, you might know I thought I had a good idea and it didn't work. All right, I'm back to the instructions. I get myself in trouble when I go rogue. Here we are. So I've deleted all of that, and we're going to do some Encore in a line. And the first thing I'm going to do is change my hoop because we're practicing that. So I'm doing a change hoop. I'm going to make a bigger one this time. And I'm going to do the 200 by 260. 260 by 200. And this time I'm going to use the rotated orientation, and it gives me a preview. So it shows me that it's going to be a rectangle on its side. So I'm going to be able to work horizontally. So there is that. Go ahead and change your hoop, or well, do a select all, delete everything on the screen, and then change your hoop to the 260 by 200 rotated. Okay, everybody got that? Excellent. All right, so now we are going to use the line option to create an Encore. We're going to go back to Super Design. So I'm choosing my Super Design tab. And this time I want to use the category Borders. So I click my drop down arrow and click on Borders. And now I'm going to view all of the borders that I have access to. So I'm going to click the drop down arrow to the right of the picture. And here are all of my different borders. We're going to use these little, I don't know what kind of flowers they are. The flowers that are in borders 2, the little yellow flowers. And we're going to say, click on that so that it's highlighted. And I'm going to change my size to 35 millimeters. So I'm coming over here. I'm just clicking into the box, type in 35 and saying apply. So there are my little flowers on the screen. So you guys can go ahead and do that. So you're going to the super design menu. The category is borders. Clicking the drop down arrow, and this is in the second group of borders, and it's design number 6, I think it is. Change the size to 35 millimeters and click apply. She forgot to click the size. I saw that look.
All right, there we go.
It doesn't matter. It's so you know you can. We laugh. Home is for practice. Class is for practice. Home is for perfection. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen again. And we have the opportunity here to rotate, or I'm sorry, mirror this. So I really want, before I encore it, I want it to be facing the other direction. So I'm going to put my cursor over that triangle on the left, and I'm going to click one time, and it mirrored the design. Now my flowers are to the left and my stems are kind of going to the right, because we're going to use a repeating pair of these when we encore. Okay, so I've mirrored it, and now I'm going to go to the Encore tab. And this time, instead of circle, I'm going to choose line. So I've highlighted line. And this time, instead of having them all facing the same direction, like our little golf pennants, we're going to mirror. So I'm going to choose mirror. So I've selected line, I've selected mirror, and I want a repeat of 2. Oops.
Libby, mine didn't rotate.
What?
Wait a minute.
Yours didn't rotate?
No.
Okay, see how, look at my cursor right now, Donna. See how it's the double arrows or arrows going side to side and up and down? I gotta really get over that triangle until it changes to the cursor that looks like just a line with arrows both directions. Okay, if you click when it's the arrows up and down and side to side, it won't change. All right. So encore, line, mirrored, repeats of 2, preview. And now I have mirrored flowers side to side. And I can grab this, see a little box over here on the side? If I get my cursor over that to a double-ended arrow, I can stretch that out a little bit to give it a little bit of space if I want to. And I'm going to say apply. All right.
Ooh.
So we've got our flowers. We're going to the Encore tab. We're choosing line. We're choosing mirrored. So our golf pennants need to be facing each other.
Where's the mirror?
The mirror are the little golf pennants right next, practically right next to the line. Okay. Repeats of 2.
All right, that's good.
I actually have this towel stitched out somewhere. I didn't think to grab it. I've done this. And then preview. And then if you want to, grab the box on the right-hand side and drag it a little bit, and you can put a little bit of space in between your flowers instead of having them so tight together. Okay, so now, right now, this is our scalloped clock face because we did not change the name of this, right? So we want to save this as our yellow floral border. So you can either click on File and choose Save As, or you can choose the middle floppy disk up there in your quick access bar that has the pencil on it, and that's the Save As. If you hover over it, it should pop up and say Save As. And you're going to name this yellow floral border. Should have brought you right back to your folder that you've been working in.
I'm having trouble getting my cursor to just be on that left pointing flag.
The left point, just click on that lower box for layout. You don't have to click on a flag, just make the lower box light up. Is that what you mean?
Kind of crazy.
They're all crunched together, but they're all facing this way.
Oh, you're in preview right now?
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
maybe that's it.
click cancel, and then choose the mirrored version and do a preview.
Cancel is not available.
Click undo. You go back to your single set of flowers
Okay.
when you did an undo.
Okay, now I have a blank screen.
Oh, redo.
Okay, there it sits. It's kind of
Single set
small.
of flowers. Okay, so over on the left-hand side, you want to choose the line. The
Yes.
line. Okay,
Yes.
then for layout, choose the bottom option, which is the mirrored.
Layout. Oh, yeah. Okay.
There you go. Now repeats of 2 and preview.
Preview.
Mine are on top of me too.
No, that's not right.
What you got? What's it look like?
It's vertical and they're opposite each other. So I have, let me just start over.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to
Super design.
Super Designs, borders. I got that. 35 millimeter apply. Now I go to Encore,
Yes.
line, 2 repeats. They're both going the same direction. I don't have a mirror.
Okay, hang on. Let me share my screen for just a second.
All right.
Then. Let me cancel that. There we go. I think you're doing almost everything correct. I think you just your brain's working faster than your mouse a little bit right now. So we've got our design on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I go to Encore. So this is my line option right here. It can be circle, shape, hoop, or line. So I select line. This is mirror right here.
Oh,
These
okay.
little tenets. As long as that is orange, it's going to work. Then we're going to say 2. Then we're going to say preview. So they come up facing opposite directions. And then this little box right here, if I get my double arrow on it, I can drag them apart just a little bit. I don't want them real far, about like so. And then I say apply. So let me give you back your screen so you can do that. Donna, what's wrong?
I'm there.
Oh, good. You were fussing and fuming for a minute. I wasn't sure. I could tell.
Hey, girl, that's old age.
I hear you. I hear you.
Can't get that double arrow.
And then everyone do a save as and call it your yellow floral border. So up at the top it should say yellow floral border Premier +2, because you've now named it what you currently have on the screen. Everybody good?
Libby, I can't get them to separate.
What's happening? Why are you unable to? Do you know?
I can't drag the little white box with the cross.
Okay, so when you put your cursor over it, are you seeing a single line with an arrow at each end, or are you seeing that plus thing again? A single arrow, and then you should be able to drag when it's a single arrow, left click and pull. Did you get it? Yay! All right, so now I want to show you what happens when we get ready to export this, because we have a new thing showing up. So I'm going to use the quick access link up here for export, which is the floppy with the arrow pointing out. Normally when you hover, it'll tell you what that is. It's not right now, I think because I'm online. But when I click on that, there's my export. BP3. No, it's not doing it. Okay. It's doing exactly what it has been. Yellow floral border exported VP3. So, or PES, whichever it is that you want to use, going into that same folder. Okay.
Libby, no orange bar.
You don't have the orange boxes around that? Did you apply? In Encore, all the way over on the right-hand side, there's a green box if you haven't applied. Okay, all right. All righty, so when we export, same thing. So that would be ready for stitching, okay. And it says on number 11, rotate export for stitching. Under hoop orientation, there'll be a check mark and rotate to fit. Mine didn't do that, and I'm not sure why. It used to. I'm not sure what's going on with that. And so I would be curious whether or not your alls did that when you do an export, whether the check mark automatically goes into rotate to fit or not. Since we flipped this, it didn't. I wonder what happened. I think that's a bug. When you're using a hoop horizontally, you want it to rotate when it goes into your sewing machine. So normally that happens automatically. Something's happened in the software where it's not doing that right now. So when you export, you can put a check mark in there, rotate hoop for natural orientation for when it stitches out. So you might make a little note of that. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to contact software development and see, because it used to. So some update that vanished, and I don't know why. Something's happened. Okay. Now we can encore and encore. So maybe that's a standing ovation. I don't know. I'm going to do a share screen here and show you that we can encore our encore. So I can do the two, I can come right here where I am and I can say preview. And now I get an encored encore and say apply. And now it will go all the way across the bottom of my T-tab. Okay. When we export, it will automatically take all of the greens and put them together and all of the yellows and put them together. If we want to see that ourselves and understand how it's going to work, I can go to my home tab. I can do a combine. and combine all. And then I can do a color sort and I'm down to 2 colors. Okay. Now, one of the things that I did mention earlier is the stitch count, that 8,942 stitches for this design. If I make this design bigger without using resize, and I know it's distorting it, but I just want it to be significantly bigger. Remember, I'm still holding on right now. The stitch count is 8,942. If I let go, it's still 8,942. See how you can start to see through the satin stitches? It does not look nice. Conversely, if I make it, oh, whoops, I did a Donna. I left it on my crosses instead of my double arrowed line. If I make it really small, because I want to put it on, like, I don't know, a cufflink or something, it's still 8,942. Broken needle, promise. So I'm going to undo to put it back to its, well, one more time, original. I have to use resize if I want the system to compensate stitches for me. So now, if I make that big, I can't see through my satin stitch. It took it up to 15,158 stitches. So resize is really important if you want the stitch integrity to remain when you change the sizes of something. Okay. All right. So go ahead and encore your Encore if you would like. You can see that you can get the double. And you could, of course, save this if you wanted to. There's no need to if you don't want to. I want to show you the line Encore next, a curvy line. Hi. So I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to do a select all and delete because I want a clean screen to work on. And I'm going to skip down to number 16 on page 9. I'm going to change my hoop again. I'm going to use the 200 by 360 this time, 360 by 200. And I'm going to keep it rotated because I want it to be horizontal so I can play with it. And I'm going to say, okay, 360 by 200. I'm going to do 2 steps in a row. You guys will be fine. Super design. This time I'm going to choose the category flowers and leaves. And I want category leaves 1. So I'm going to click my drop down arrow. And in leaves number 1, I'm going to choose, leaves number 1. I want this, I don't know what kind of leaf that is. I'm going to choose the orange leaf. I should know my stuff better. And I want it to be 25 millimeters. I don't want it to be 50, 25, need a little smaller. And I'm going to say apply. And there is my orange leaf. We're actually going to add 4, 5, 6, and 7 and make each one of those 25 millimeters. And then we're going to play with the Encore. So go ahead and clear your screen by select all and delete. Change your hoop to the 360 by 200. Leave it in the horizontal orientation or rotated, sorry. Use the right terms. And then go to your super designs and get your 4 leaves on the screen at 25 millimeters each. And mine are jumping right on top of each other, so I'm just pulling them away. And it's actually 4, 5, 7, and 9. It really doesn't matter. You can pick whatever leaves you like.
Yes, she said. Yes.
Everybody got 4 leaves on it? Oh.
Not quite yet, not quite
Okay,
yet.
I'll give you a minute. And each one of those leaves was a different size. So we had to change the size on each one of them. And the size didn't hold. We had to choose that individually. Excuse me.
Ouch. Super
It is wicked windy over here. I don't know if it's windy in Columbus, but whoa, blowing. Got them?
Got 4 on my screen. Yep.
Perfect. Donna, what you got? What you need? Oh, one more. Okay. Jan, you got them?
I had them and I took them away because I didn't like them. And not, okay.
Oh, we're creating
Okay.
masterpieces. We want to make sure we got our creative choices going on here. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So
Hey, Libby,
now,
I didn't flip my hoop.
oh, that's okay. Just go up to the quick access link at the tippy top, click on hoop, and then click rotated. Super simple. That's what I really like. Donna's question just then was, oh my gosh, I didn't rotate the hoop. I don't have to go back to the home tab if I know that that hoop is up there in that quick access link bar. And that's one of the things I really like about that. And it takes a while, especially when you're new to the software, to really understand the power of the fact that things do live in different places. So that's a handy tool up there. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Encore tab, and we are going to choose line again. Oh, okay. And I did not, while I was on the home tab, select all of my leaves. So if I were to Encore right now, I would get repeats of this green leaf. I wouldn't get any of the other ones. And I really did mean to choose them all. And I can use Control A, just like I can in word processing, to select it all. So I can hold down the Control key on my keyboard and do a select all without having to go back home to use the select all icon bar. And so now I am going to use my line function. I'm using standard. I don't need them to mirror. And this time we are going to use a different line option. We're going to use line option number 3. So I've clicked the drop down category in my line options. I have a gallery. Whoops. There's my Control All. I'm clicking the drop down and I'm using number 3. I'm highlighting that. You see that become the active line option for me. We're going to set our repeats at 4. We have 4 things selected. You remember on our clock we had 12, so we used 12. So we're using number 4, and I'm going to preview. And so now I have these leaves encored in sort of a curvy line. I don't love that line at all. However, I've got these two boxes. Remember how we took the box and we drug it out to make our flowers spread out a little bit? We can change our angle of the line, and the top one changes the angle. So if I do this, it changes the angles. And if I choose this, it widens it out, okay? So with 4 repeats, it's not particularly interesting. I'm still in preview right now. I haven't applied it. So I'm gonna change this to 8 and I'm gonna preview again. So now I have lines. So I can play with the design as many times as I want and re-preview it without applying it. Now, if I grab this upper box, I can really do some different things with this line. I can make it do all sorts of curving. I can drag it out a little bit, which then gives me even more kind of opportunity for messing with that line. So I brought it a little bit too wide. Remember, again, I'm still in preview. I can change this to 12 and see what it looks like. And say preview. So now I have even more leaves and I can drag it out. I can play with the angle. I can do all sorts of things. Now, if I were to pull this outside of the hoop, no, I meant just pass it and handle down. Okay, so we're taking it just outside and we're taking this up to about here and we're saying apply. Okay, so I want you to play with that. Look at your leaves with 4, look at your leaves with 8, look at your leaves with 12, play with the angles, which is the top box. The width is the right-hand box.
So Libby, when you had to spring it in at 25 millimeters,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you added your repeats, they will automatically shrink.
Yes,
Okay,
they were all the same size coming in. Yes, that is
All right.
correct.
Libby,
Yes.
on the line options, yours were numbered, mine weren't.
They're not numbered till you hover. When you hover over it, you can see the number. So it's the third one. Sometimes when we're online, that hover function doesn't make things show up, which is really frustrating. So once you
I
get
got
to
that
12,
part.
what's that? Did you get it?
I got that part. But
Okay.
my preview and cancel and apply are not like.
Did you do a select all? Control A to select all 4 leaves? There you go. Now play with it.
when I hit preview, I only see 2 leaves.
How many repeats do you have?
2.
You need 4. Because you have 4 leaves. Just like our clock, we had 12. So change it to 4 repeats.
Okay. Right. Now they're all over the place. I have a quadrant and 3 are in the upper left and 1 is in the lower right.
What line shape have you chosen? Or did you miss that step maybe?
It's the one under the straight line.
Huh.
Whoa.
I'll hit cancel.
Okay.
And I have a orange square around all 4, and each one of them are surrounded by a gray
Yeah.
And I have that line. I have a standard layout line, 4 repeats. I have group clicked,
Yes, that's correct.
then I hit preview. And
Hey,
there,
in the interest of, I'm not real sure what's going
Okay.
on. Did it work or no? Still weird. Go ahead and take it to 12 repeats and hit your preview and see what you get. You get a curvy line?
yes, but they're still not all sequential. Some are overlapping and some are widely spaced.
Were they on top of each other when you started? Did you maybe not pull them a little bit apart before you started?
No, they're all separate.
I'm not sure. You may have to step back through. Let me go on.
Sure.
And we'll see what we can figure out. There is something that there we go, that I do want to show everyone here. Okay, so I've got my 12 leaves and I drug them. Remember, I took them just a little bit outside of the hoop. So look what happened when I did that. I now have the circles at the corners of my boxes. Circles are bad because that means I can't stitch it. It's outside of the work area, right? That means this is a non-stitchable design. Something we haven't used yet today, we've used it in the past, is this little circle that is on the right-hand side of the design. This is my rotate icon. Remember we had triangles. We can't triangle this because we're in Encore, but remember we could flip things. There were triangles on the left and the right. Well, this one is rotate. So when I put my cursor over that, see how it turns into an arrow with a circle? If I click on that and drag, I can rotate my design. And now my leaves are all inside of my work area. So despite the fact that the box is outside, I have square corners indicating I can stitch this even though the box goes outside of the hoop area. So I can rotate those so that the falling leaves travel down through the hoop. Melanie, you've got me stumped. I don't know why yours are behaving weirdly.
Okay,
I'm not sure why your leaves are not cooperating with us. Maybe you've got the big wind. It's blown them everywhere.
Libby, I think I missed sizing my leaves.
Oh, you got all different sizes, big, small, everything else? Okay. You'll be able to step back through that. Those instructions are right there. So you won't have any trouble doing that again. Okay. So did everybody get a chance to rotate that design and see that you can still stitch it even though the outline of the box is outside? Okay, I'm going to show you one more set of encores. I'm going to skip saving that. Again, if you guys want to walk back through that on your own and see if it works well, hopefully it will. I'm going to go back to my home tab and I'm going to delete the design that's on the screen so that I have another opportunity to play. All right. I'm going to change my hoop one more time. You're going to know how to change a hoop before the end of the day. I'm clicking in my quick access and I'm going back to the 260 by 200 hoop, which is right here, and saying, okay. Oh, yeah, rotated. Okay. So we're horizontal. And I'm going to go to the super design menu again. And this time we're going to use flowers 1. And we're going to select the white flower, which is this little daisy. It's the very first one. We're changing our size to 15 millimeters. And I'm going to click apply. I'm also going to select the red flower. And I'm going to change it to 15 millimeters. And click apply. And they're right on top of each other. That's okay. Or I can drag them apart either way. And I'm going to go to Encore. So I've chosen 2 designs. I'm going to Encore. And we're going to use a shape this time, which is right here. We're going to leave it at standard. And under our shape options, I'm going to click the drop down. I'm going to roll all the way down to the star, the 5-pointed star, which when I hover over it, it's shape number 16. It's that 5-pointed star. And this time, I don't get to pick the repeats. It's going to automatically space things around my shape, and it's not going to let me tell it how many times. It's going to take care of that for me. So we are going to preview, and oh, I didn't do a select all. I left my star in the middle. Okay, I'm going to cancel that preview. I do have to do my Control A to select all, get my orange boxes and preview. There we go. There's my little star with the repeats. It's like, what just happened? That was kind of cute though, with the little daisy in the middle when I did that. So go ahead and go to your home tab, do a select all and delete. Change your hoop to the 260 by 200. And then Super Designs, Flowers and Leaves, and we're using the white flower, which is first, and the red flower, which is second, at 15 millimeters each. Okay, and once you have that previewed, stop, don't apply it yet. Okay. Remember, Control A will select all. You'll get your orange boxes then, and then you can Encore and it will do your white flowers and your red flowers in the shape of a star. What's the matter, Donna?
I didn't select all.
Neither did I. You just did what I did, that's all. Gee, it works so much better when you follow the instructions. But we learn more when we stumble along too, I think. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. Now, again, we've got these boxes at the top and on the side, so we can play with the shape of this star. So if I put my cursor over the right-hand box, I can stretch that way out if I want to. I mean, it looks silly, but it changes the number of repeats to make it work. Notice how there's way more repeats in these long arms than there are in the up and down ones. Same thing here. I can stretch it up and it starts to add more. And there were 3 a second ago. Ooh, whoops, I've still got it. Stop that. I didn't mean to hang on to it. All right, let go. All right, here we go. I'm going to take it back in. And it changes the number of repeats for me. So the system is actually calculating and figuring out what's going to work well in terms of the repeats. The other thing you have control over, I've got this, I'm going to take this out a little bit further. You can change the gap, which will change the number of repeats. So if I take the gap to 5, and I say preview, see how it spaced my flowers out further and there aren't as many. I can take it all the way down to 1 and that will give me a preview that looks different as well. so that you have some control over the number of repeats by playing with the gap. Okay. Questions about that? Let you go ahead and play with your handles and stretch things out. The other change that you can make is you can change your shape and preview that. So after you've played a little bit with stretching things around and that sort of thing, click the drop-down gallery and choose the star that's just underneath the 5-pointed star and do a preview and see what that looks like. And remember, your gap affects that a great deal. So if you choose the one underneath, when I have mine at a 5 millimeter, I lose my red flowers altogether. I only get the white ones because there wasn't enough room for everything. So you can get some really unique designs playing inside of Encore.
Must have a very expressive face.
I heard the whoop. It's like, oh, something just happened. Well, and what I do, because it helps me to know if people are catching on, I actually set up a second screen and I pull the gallery of faces over to the right, because it's really helpful for me to know if somebody has like a question or whatever, because sometimes you guys won't speak up, but it's like, I can tell. All right, so that is my Encore, Encore. Any questions about that? And we didn't do Encore around the hoop, but it's the same sort of thing. So if you had one of your hoops and you, for some reason you wanted something to go all, maybe you've got an embroidery in the center and you want to do some sort of lovely design all the way around the edge in the hoop, you can do that. Bernina users, you have oval hoops, so you would automatically end up with an oval shape if you went around the hoop. FOF users, you don't have any circles or oval hoops, but you have rectangles and you have square hoops and that kind of thing. So that is, there's a lot of fun things that can be done with Encore, and we used to have to try to space all that stuff ourselves in the older software, and you're trying to get everything just right. And Encore really does allow you to repeat and do different sizes, different shapes, all sorts of fun things. So there's a lot that can be done in there. Questions, anybody? No? Okay. Our next, the next class, I believe, that is available, I think this is the next one. There are some master classes coming up, some of the bigger projects, but this is our next kind of basic class that we'll be doing, the Do Something Creative Every Day. I'm thinking Donna must have signed up because she wanted to know what the heck craft foam was. So I'm suspecting that you were getting supplies, and the craft foam is what is underneath. I don't know if you can see. There's craft foam under that stitching, and it's what gives it the 3D look of a collegiate sweatshirt. And the craft foam is, I say it's what was used in Vacation Bible School to make all the little figures. It's kind of what I think of, but it's just these little foam sheets, They come in 8.5 by 11, or they come in the little guys too. And it's so funny. I was working on my project and I didn't have any. And so my husband said, well, I'm going to the store. What do you want? I said, craft foam. So I'm getting all these texts. He goes, I found glitter, craft foam. I found all these colors. What do you want? I'm like, well, bring me a glitter sheet and bring me a this color and a that color. It 100% gets covered up with red. So it doesn't make a bit of difference what color it is. So there you are. I would guess if the stitching were large enough, you might want something a similar color underneath, just in case you got a little bit of show through. But that's what craft foam is. It just gives you a little bit of dimension to your letters. Okay. All right. Well, that's it, folks. I think that's everything. Anybody got any questions, or are y'all good?
All good.
All right. Very good. Melanie, I'm going to send you an email. Are you going to be around later this afternoon, perhaps? Or are you taking off?
No, so I wouldn't see it until about after dinner.
Say that again.
I won't see it till after.
Oh, I wondered if we could get
Dinner?
together for a few minutes to try to get your samples and stuff straightened out. I've got another meeting at 1, but I could get together later this afternoon if that worked for you. No. All right. I'll send you an email with a couple options of times. You let me know what works and we'll meet up and we'll get your samples in place.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, everybody have a great afternoon and enjoy your summer. And hopefully I'm going to get to water ski this afternoon, but if this wind doesn't quit, I'm not.
Okay.
Libby,
Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome. Have a
Yes,
good day.
thanks.
Bye.
Libby, thank you.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. Have a great day.